This is my intro. There are many others like it, but this one is mine. Hi, this is Dan from Boilerplate Socialism, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'd like to talk a little about oppression. Oppression is one of those words that everyone knows, everyone has a gut feeling for, but can be a little bit hard to define. According to the dictionary, oppression is prolonged, cruel, unfair, or controlling treatment. In a political sense, oppression is when someone doesn't have the same economic, legal, political, or economic rights as someone else. As Marxists, we tend to focus on class oppression, the oppression of one class by another, the owner class oppressing the worker class. It's not difficult to see that the powerful and rich have rights that none of us could ever hope to have. If you're a worker, you miss rent one time, you're out on the street. If you're homeless, you can quite literally be killed by the police or have all your possessions seized. Meanwhile, if you're a rich person, you can fly to Epstein Island hundreds of times and never see the inside of a jail cell. The fate of Jeffrey was very much an exception that proves the rule to that. Now, as things work, the owner class deliberately oppresses the working class. This is not because they are evil or motivated by Satan. That's for conspiracy theorists. They do it because it serves their material interests. Everything they have to gain is taken from the workers. So they maintain schools, prisons, police. They maintain social media, traditional media, and that's how it's done. Breaking it down further, there are two kinds of oppression. There's direct oppression, where people are being, directly oppressed by the ruling class. And then there's special oppression. These are the kinds of oppressions that divide the working class amongst itself. So, for example, this would be segregation in the United States. This would be the anti-trans laws that have come out in the UK recently, or in a number of Western countries where women didn't have full legal equality as men right up until, in many cases, the 1970s. This is important to bring up because in order for us to defeat the owner class, we actually have to have class solidarity. Last time I talked about class, and we are all in this together. Now, from the dawn of time, the working class has always been against the owner class, but in order for us to succeed against them, we have to be not just against the owners, but for the workers. And right now, as things stand, one major barrier that we have to that is special oppression, because there are a lot of people who would be amenable to overthrowing the wealthy and powerful, but they get caught up in, I'm going to call them culture war issues. People who believe that the Mexicans are stealing their jobs, that affirmative action is the devil. And I do want to bring this up because talking about conspiracy theories, those are harmful. And they're harmful because those are rooted in idealism. They're not rooted in any scientific or social analysis of society. These people when you indulge in conspiracy theories, the Rothschilds, the Bilderbergs, the Alex Jones stuff, what you're really doing is engaging in fan fiction of reality. And you're not actually saving the world, you're participating in a fandom squabble. The reason that the Rothschilds are evil is because they are wealthy people and they got their wealth by exploiting people. Bill Gates is evil because he exploited workers and generally crippled the software industry. Again, there is no real magic to it. If you try to find magic, you're going to wind down a rabbit hole and you'll be at odds with your fellow workers. There is a reason that many conspiracy theories end up being a pipeline to alt-right or even fascist rhetoric. What I do hope to have here is to talk about the importance of intersectionality, about class consciousness. At the end to quote Karl Marx, white labor cannot be liberated while black labor is branded. In England, for example, I'm paraphrasing here, there was someone who once said that the English working class could not be liberated for as long as the Irish working class were enslaved. And this goes for that today. And the thing is that the right wing will often try to co-opt that kind of identity politics for the worse. And they will talk about, our pride, our women, the immigrants are stealing our jobs, so forth. But the thing is that none of these people are actually threatening the status quo. None of them are naming the capitalist class. Believe me, if Alex Jones talked about Going after capitalists, defending unions, and abolishing the police, he would have been dead years ago. He would have wound up dead just like Fred Hampton of the Black Panthers. There was a man who was trying to not just heal the sick, feed the hungry, and educate the unlearned. He was also trying to build solidarity between Latino, Appalachian, and black workers, both in and out of unions, in unions and in politics. In fact, actually, if I could leave you with one thing at the end of this video, it would be to Google Fred Hampton, find out what he stood for. Because we often get a very stilted view of liberation movements like the Black Panthers. We either get their, shall we say, tamer versions from the 1970s, or a very cartoonish version where they're held up as the opposite of groups like the KKK. So I hope I gave you something to think about here, something about oppression, because this is something that is very close to my heart. So thank you for watching. I appreciate all of this. I appreciate everyone who watches. Please remember to give that video a like and a thumbs up. Please remember to share, comment if you like. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. And thank you for your time. Have an excellent day. I will see you next week. This is my outro. There are many others like it, but this one is mine.